Now, any gamer knows that pretty much what you do is what you do. What I do is what I do. Everybody has different values, different things that they do, different things that they believe in. Everybody has agreements and disagreements within video games or in life. But when it comes to money, and when it comes to pretty much your budget, everybody agrees that you want to keep a roof over your head, you want to feed your children, and you just want to make sure that you have, you have gas in your car. Well, these developers lately don't give two shits. As a matter of fact, they think you're all rich. Hey everybody, this is Mr. Hardcore Mode, where nothing is easy. Warriors and wenches, how y'all doing? We are going to talk about the $80 games again in this relation to Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2 is the sequel to the Outer Worlds 1, of course. And that game came out for, I believe, $50 or $60. But now the developers think, you know what? If Nintendo can do it, then we can do it too. Our game is definitely $80 or $100 if you want the premium edition. That is fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. And let me keep it plain for you. If you are going to sell us an $80 game, which by the way, when it comes to us normal people, this is what we do. We estimate. So when you say a game is $60, it's $60. But when you say the game is $80, nigga, it might as well just be $100. This is how I do things. I don't know about you guys, but this is how I do things, where I try to estimate and be like, hey man, this game is gonna be like $80. Oh, so it's $100. No, that would be $20 more. No, we have to do this in order for me to budget and to make sure that I keep a wallet, I like to have cash in my wallet. Surprise, surprise. I have to do this sort of budgeting with certain, when somebody says they want $6 and I'm just like, might as well just be $10, or if it's just, $80, it might as well just be like $100. This is how I think about things. And this is how normal people think about things, where it's just like, it might as well just be $100. So basically what I'm trying to say is Obsidian does not at this point in time have enough in their game to be $80 or $100. I'm sorry, you do not. Your graphics are not $80 or $100 worth. Your gameplay does not look like it's $80 or $100. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at your gameplay, and I've seen your gameplay for Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2 might as well just be High on Life 2. High on Life 2 is going to come out. It's probably going to be a different price tag. I hope so for High of Life 2. But basically, you have the same graphics as all these other AA games. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, graphics isn't, really important. Well, when it comes to $80 or $100, you best believe graphics means something. I want everything. If you're gonna sell me on an $80 game, I want everything in the game. I want hella good graphics. We're talking Last of Us Part 2 sort of graphics. I better have the top of the line narrative if I'm gonna be spending that much money. There better be enough hour of gameplay in this game to be $100. Here's another thing. There better be attractive, or the rule of cool, like I've always been telling you guys, attractive characters or the rule of cool sort of, characters in this game. I have not seen any of that. All I've been seeing on their trailers is everybody looks like they're either androgynous or they came straight out of Avowed, which makes sense because it's the same fucking studio. You remember the studio where the executive or director left to do Netflix games or something like that? She left right after Avowed. You remember that one? The same studio? Their characters in this game look like complete dog shit. Okay? So, this isn't Vindictus Defying Fate. And you don't have to have every game look like Vindictus Defying Fate or fucking Atomic Heart, or everything has to look like the First Descendant. But when it comes to an $80 game, I better be getting an $80 experience. When I saw these trailers, guess what I saw with these trailers? All I heard was, oh yeah, we used to do Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. Shut up, bitch! You don't do that shit anymore. I'm telling you right now, these developers used to do good things, okay? They used to do good things. They keep coming out and saying, yo, you remember New Vegas when we were like cool? So, you either can bring the same sort of gameplay or the same sort of fun from New Vegas or Fallout 3, or you were a one-trick pony. That's right. You made New Vegas and then you lost it after that. You came back and you were just like, yo, we did New Vegas, we did Fallout 3, and I'm like, can you bring the same energy from those games? I have not seen that. BioWare did the same thing where they came out, Mark Dara, you remember from BioWare, saying like, oh shit, this Veilguard's gonna be better than all the other previous games. And I'm just like, nigga, you worked on those games. And now you're saying this game, Veilguard, is better than the previous ones? Get the fuck out of here. You're a one-trick pony. You made 3 good games and then you stopped. Just like Obsidian. I think Obsidian right now, all the good developers are gone. They made good games and then they stopped. They said, what does Xbox Studios want? Oh, they want me to just make just a game with barely any muscle in it. Basically, they want you to have chicken broth, but there's no meat or potatoes or vegetables inside your bowl. They want chicken broth. They said, you're good with a chicken broth game. And I'm like, can I have something else, like some noodles, a little bit of seaweed, maybe a boiled egg or something in my chicken broth? I mean, check out the combat in this game. I mean, yeah, I get it, but I've seen games like this with this sort of combat that was probably equal or better, and I've seen interesting gunplay, but that's all you have to give me is just really cool guns. I've seen games with less graphics with cooler guns. So this is what people are going to do now when they see an $80 or $100 game, and they're just going to correlate it to other games that they've seen or played, where they're just like, when you play an indie game and it's literally 20 or 30 bucks, you're just like, cool, awesome, I'll play this game. When you sell us on an $80 or $100 game, we have to start dividing and thinking about like, well, is it better than this game that I like that was only 40 bucks? Or this game, that I bought for 20 bucks. It's like, they have to correlate. They gotta think to themselves, like if you start breaking people's banks, they're not gonna come back, okay? They are not gonna come back. They may play the game once, but that one time, also it's in Game Pass, by the way. It's in Game Pass. They always do this shit where it's like, oh, it's gonna be in Game Pass. Do the developers want money? You know what? Maybe developers don't want your money anymore. Maybe they just want every game to just not be owned by you. Maybe that's just what this is. They want to raise the price of this game and they're just like, hey, why bother paying when you can just rent for the rest of your life? That's right, you won't be able to own these games. Game Pass, baby. That's right. You're not gonna... None of our games are worth keeping. So here's the Game Pass. That's right. I mean, think about it. Obsidian will always be afloat because they have Xbox Game Studios right up their ass, tickling their balls and shit. So as long as they have that, as long as they have something to hold on to them when they fall out, they're not going to suffer at all. So that's why they're like, okay, well, these games are here. Like, for example, Baldur's Gate 3 is on Xbox, but it's not on Xbox Game Pass because the developer with Larian Studios realized, listen, our game is worth more than that. Our game is worth $40, $50, $60. Our game should not be on Game Pass. We don't want it to be on Game Pass. We don't want people to make this a subscription game. Because I'm going to tell you right now, as much as developers want their game to be out there to the public, they don't want people, believe it or not, I'm going to say this, but developers want gamers to keep their games. Hello? They want to, they have no choice but to do what Xbox tells them. But they would really prefer you to pay $50, $60, or $80 or $100 on a game and keep the game. But when you give us prices like these, and by the way, let me make sure that I'm perfectly clear on this. They did not make these prices. Xbox did. Xbox made these prices. This is not up to Obsidian. This is up to the publisher, which is Xbox Game Studios. They made these prices. So they were probably like $80. It was not up to Obsidian too much, but there could have been a conversation where they just said, hey, listen, I appreciate it. Our game being $80, maybe it might be worth that to you, but could we please go to $60 or something else? And then Obsidian, Xbox Studios probably said, no, we're gonna make it $80 to $100. And then whoever's in charge of Obsidian is probably like, all right, I hope this is working. I'm going to level with you. I'm going to be honest. I think that's how the conversation probably went. I don't think Obsidian just went out and said, yeah, our game should be $200. No, I don't think so. But there has to be because we've played Outer Worlds 1, and that game was okay. I'm looking at Outer Worlds 2, good graphics. This game looks okay. It looks like, it looks like Outer Worlds 1. I'm sorry. Maybe it's bigger and better, but I'm looking at it and I'm just like, more Outer Worlds. That's all I see. Now, here's the funny thing. Grounded 2 is also made by Obsidian, which is odd because the previous game, Grounded, the first one, was $40. But for some odd reason, this game is going to be in early access on July. So I'm over here just like, what do you mean? You see what I mean? You're not a AA company. You're not a AAA company. Why are you on early access? That doesn't make... You have a publisher called Xbox Game Studios. Why do you have this game being in early access? You should already know upfront what's going to be in the game. If you want to have this sort of like, oh, well, we want to see how the people will, like it. We want to hear from the community. That's all great and all. But your game, since you are backed by Xbox, fucking Xbox, and this is the second game, you should come out and be like, hey, this game should also be $40, by the way. This game better be fucking $40. If I see that Grounded 2 being $80 makes a little bit more sense, but I firmly believe any game over $70 is a fucking scam. That's me. But this game is more deserving because not only is the game fun, but also there's no political sort of ugliness to any of the characters. Plus, they're just kids. What are they gonna do? What are you gonna do? They are just 4 teenagers, okay? They're not gonna come out and be like, yeah, let's make the kids, fucking look weird and shit and give them an Adam's apple. They can't do that. They're fucking children. They're all in the backyard or in a park. If they so much as try to do anything weird with the children, people will be on their ass like white on rice. They're fucking children. And you're fighting giant bugs and robots. So I think the art design for this game is way better than the one for Outer Worlds 2. But that's what I'm saying, man. Why is Xbox Studios doing an early access game? You have the money. So all you have to do is talk to your community, say like, hey, we want this, can we do this? I saw that we are able to get spider mounts. I think that's really cool that you can get an ant mount or a spider mount. I would like to have a bee mount so I could just fly around and shit. But I'm just saying, that sort of thing where it's just like, I hope it sort of makes sense. Because, I firmly believe that, this is my take by the way, I firmly believe that Grounded 2 should be more deserving of a full release instead of an early access, because we know what we're getting. And if you want to do patches and add other shit, go ahead, that's cool. But you shouldn't come at it like, oh, we're just a tiny developer team, we're just trying our best, there's only 3 of us. And no, you're not. I've seen your studio, Obsidian. I've seen your studio. Your fucking studio's huge. You got over 300 people in there or something. You have a lot of people. Do not come at me with like, oh, we got to do an early access, you know, it's kind of hard. No, you're not. Stop. So I find it kind of weird that, because this one right here, having an early access game for this game, but they're not going to do it for this one. They're going to say $80 to $100. So this one right here is all Obsidian. This is all Obsidian. This is something where it's just like, this was your choice. You said, Obsidian said, we're going to do early access on this game, and we're not going to tell them the price. This is all Obsidian. A little bit of Game Studios publishing. Okay, but this is all up to Obsidian right here. However, when it comes to this $80 to $100 game, which the executive director still has some pull when it comes to choosing the price, this is diabolical, because I'm really worried that Obsidian is nearing it. Obsidian has become second Bethesda. That's it. I said it. Obsidian has become second Bethesda. I used to think, oh, Bethesda does this kind of thing, but Obsidian, I like Obsidian more because Obsidian does this, and this. And now I don't feel that anymore, because Xbox is crammed right up their ass. Also, that weird Matt character who was the art director, he better be fucking fired, by the way. That bald mustache looking fuck that said like, oh man, I wish a black guy took my job, he better be out of there. But if I hear he's still there, I don't want to have this conversation. If that motherfucker still has his job, I'm just saying, y'all, if you guys didn't fire that Matt guy that said weird shit to Elon Musk online, and he still has a job, and he said something racist about white people and black people, and he still has that job, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think Xbox Studios agrees with whatever the fuck he just said, and they probably do. They probably all they probably are in agreement with their price. They're like, $80. I think our game should be $100. They'll probably believe that one. So I think the only game that I'm kind of excited about is Grounded 2, depending on the price. I do want to play this game with you guys. We might do something together where we have a group of 4 people and then we just all play Grounded 2 together on early access when it comes out on July. But for Outer Worlds 2, get that shit out of my fucking face. Anyway, Obsidian fell hard. Everyone from New Vegas, KOTOR 2 days, etc. is long gone right now. The KOTOR people went to make Exodus with Wizards of the Coast. So they're doing that. I think these prices, they know they're pushing customers to Game Pass. Yeah, they're pushing them to increase numbers so they can have a reason for increasing the subscription price. Yep, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. And that's what I'm saying. Sooner or later, they're gonna, if they haven't already, they're gonna increase the price of Game Pass. And once Game Pass, and I hope that they do this because I like a little bit of anarchy, I hope one day they make the game subscription pass up to $20. Once Game Pass goes up to $20 a month, we are gonna hear, like I said before, when it comes to money, people change their fucking mind. Everybody starts to go, well, I think Game Pass is good. Well, I think Game Pass is bad. And then they up the price to $20 a month. And then all those people with agreements and disagreements all go at the same time. Yeah, I don't think Xbox Game Pass is yeah, I don't think I don't know anymore. But that's how it's going to be. I heard Tim Kaine is part of the Outer Worlds 2 dev team, which is a promising sign. However, $80 is diabolical. Skipping this game is getting it for $10 on GTA in a couple of years. They're going to... I don't think if Tim... I got to see if Tim Kaine is working there. Because Tim Kaine... I don't know. I think Tim Kaine is working on his own. But who knows? If Game Pass goes up, I'll unsubscribe. Exactly. Bring up the price and see what happens. See how fast people go from like, oh, $10 a month? Okay. Right now it's like $12 a month or something, right? For like, if you just want to do the PC one. Yeah, bring up the price and see how people... See how quick... I forgot to add one more thing, chat. I have been hearing what you guys have been saying, where you guys are like, I really like your channel and I would like to subscribe, but I can't do it for $5 a month because I'm on a budget. Like, I've been hearing a couple of people say that. I'm not a big channel, but I think it's great that some of you guys want to subscribe to my channel or become a member and stuff like that. But I genuinely hear what you guys say, where you're like, it's like, I would like to do it, but I'm pressed for money. And it's just, you know, it's $5 a month, which is a pretty big deal because monthly subscriptions ain't no fucking joke. But like $5 a month, like $5, $10, $20, it doesn't fucking matter. People watch what they spend. You see what I'm saying? So when you start changing prices on Game Pass, see what happens. Anyway, $80 skip. True.